Hello and welcome again. Briefly, I'll be taking you through Odoo architecture and composition of a module. This will help you understand what is going on behind the scene. What do I need to put in place when building a module? Now, it's important that you know that Odoo is a 3-tier architecture. The presentation tier, we have the logic tier, and we have the data tier. The presentation tier is what you see as a user, what you can understand as a user. Your clients will probably not care about what is happening behind the scene. All users care about is to see a functioning application. This can be achieved using HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS. How are you going to couple this together to make a usable UI? We are going to be talking about that. The Odoo logic tier uses Python. It is Python that Odoo has chosen to write business logics. Business logics that communicates with the view. And that is why we started with the presentation tier, which is the first thing the user sees. You as a developer, you are probably concerned with the logic tier and the data tier. And the data tier in Odoo uses Postgres, and that is the only database Odoo uses. It is what a user sends from the user interface, which is the presentation text, that is being processed by the logic before it is being saved to the database. So before any read or write can be done to the database, the intermediary, which is the logic, communicates between the presentation and the database. If there's any cleaning up that needs to be done, the logic tier does that. And you are going to be doing that. And that is why it is important that you understand every bit of this course. Let's talk about the composition of a module. Before we start building modules, it is important you know the composition of a module. And these are the business logic, the object view, the data file, the web controllers, and the static data. In the business logic, we are going to dive into models, fields, record sets, decorators, and inheritance. We are going to be starting with the basics of these concepts, and we dive deeper so that you don't get bored or tired. We have the object view. For the object view, this is the presentation tier. We understand how fields are being used, are being displayed to the user, how you can apply attributes or widgets on these fields. We are going to explore inheritance, how you can inherit a particular view, how you can override a particular view or fields or button in a view. We are going to look at the different types of views, the Gantt view, the form view, and so many. We are going to also dive into data files. Data files communicate with the database. They save records directly to the database. And we are going to be exploring how you can save records into the database using the XML or the CSV file. We'll also be diving into web controllers. The web controllers uses both the logic and the view. Some data will be passed from the logic to the view for the user to interact with them. These views or these controllers will have their own routes, probably making a request and getting a response. We also understand how static data are being used. This static data you can create or have your images, CSS files, and JavaScript files there. These files can be used in your views, and we are going to be looking into that. Before we get our hands dirty, it is important you know the different Odoo options that we have. Let's get into that.